Hello, listeners. This is Trina Jaye with Writers Cramp of In My Pajama Show. For those of you who are out there listening, please feel free to call in. Our call-in number is 347-945-5519. And if you want any questions answered by the authors that we are interviewing today, please feel free to call in. Our next author, who I'm going to present to you, his name is Bazhe. Bazhe is an author, poet, and artist. He has published poems and short stories in former Yugoslavia and in the United States. As an artist, he has had his artwork exhibited in New York City, Europe, New Jersey, and Ohio. His book of poetry is called Identities, and today we will be discussing his memoir, Damages. And Damages is a true story of Bazhe's fight to overcome the psychological wounds created by his upbringing. So without no further ado, I would like to present to you Bazhe. Bazhe, are you there?
Yes, hi, how are you? Thank you for inviting me to this program.
You are so very welcome. And before we begin, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, Bazhe.
Okay, Bazhe. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you to the first segment of Writers Cramp. Today is our first segment for Writers Cramp for In My Pajama Show. So you are my second author that I am interviewing.
Oh, thank you.
And you're welcome. Well, let's talk a little bit about your poetry book, Identities. What gave you the urge to write Identities?
Okay. After Damages was finished and published, I actually went through my old poems and translate them into American English. So half of the book is from my old poems that date even when I was age of 14, but they're very timely, believe it or not. And even I grew up in a very different environment and different country, but they're very universal. And then the half of 50 other poems, there are around 100, are written in United States after coming to United States. So that means after the story of Damages, because Damages stops when I came to United States. So when I wrote the poetry, I wrote it, of course, as a natural urge to write my poetry, to expose my poetry to the readers. And when I finished the Identities, I realized that most of the people who bought Damages bought my book Identities. And Identities, the poems of very social, very political, social, very timely. They deal with greed and love and ignorance and loss and hope and happiness and sadness and stuff. Very philosophical, and they loved it because they are very prosaic. They are very simple. Yet sometimes, like the message can be complicated, but makes you think and immerse yourself into the words. And I think I did a pretty good job in that.
Which do you find that you enjoy the most, writing poetry or the artistic side? Because I know you do artwork.
Yes.
And out of those, which one do you enjoy the most?
I actually do. I call it therapy within therapy.
Say that again. You collect what?
I call it a therapy within a therapy.
Oh, okay.
Meaning, you go. Let's say you write one chapter, right? Like prose, and then you switch to the poems. Then you are in love, and you write another poem. Then you are grieving, you write another story, and then you paint. So you make a little break from the writing. I think it's a great balance. To me, it's just balancing myself. That's all it is. And I don't like, for example, sit 9 a.m. and say, okay, now I'm going to write. Now I'm going to paint. No, doesn't work that way. What I do is I say, okay, I think, okay, now I have urge to write. Well, I'm going to make a little break and I paint. That's how I see it.
Okay.
And actually, they're very connected. All my writing, paintings, sculptures, poetry are very connected. Let's say if I write about the war on Iraq or terrorism, then all the three media will be connected with that subject. They're like a parts of each other. That's how I see it.
Okay, so they all correlated together. And I was reading your poem, White Horses and I. What exactly was that about? I mean, I was reading it and I said, well, I don't know if it's about someone or it's just what you were feeling for that moment, or just, you might have been around white horses at that time.
White Horses is about, actually White Horses was written when I was 14. And and I translated it into English. Of course, I rewrite some words because some words cannot be really nicely translated into American English. It's about my loneliness.
About your loneliness?
My loneliness, my dreaming to have some white horses to take you away where the people are not lonely anymore.
Okay.
And I think we are all lonely in many ways. And I think, sadly, the society, instead of to be more social, with the technology, we become more lonely. And I found that many people like that poem. They touches them and don't even know what it's about, but it touches them. And I think the reason why they're touched by that poem is because we all feel alienated sometimes more than we should. And unfortunately, because of our fast-paced life, and we don't even stop and look at the trees anymore and nature. And I'm very into nature, animals and trees, and socializing is a very important part of my life.
Right. And that was one of the poems I liked when I was reading over the different poems you had listed on your website.
Did you like my love poems?
The White Horses and I?
Yes. No. I'm asking you. How did you like my love poems?
Your love poems.
Yes. As a girl,
Tell me the name of that one. Which one is that?
Like for example, the vampire or the quietening, or the vampire love poems about lust for love and loss and love and admiring your loved one, no matter what he or she is. Yeah, those
were all nice.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, if you make it to Atlanta, give In My Pajamas Show a call, and we would love to meet with you. And I
would like to meet you as well, because you seem like exciting trio.
Well, thank you. And I must say, Bazhe, I have enjoyed this interview with you. Thank you for calling in and giving us the opportunity to interview you on your book, Damages. I have enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and all the best to all of you and to your listeners as well.
You are welcome. And if anyone is interested in getting your book, will they just go to your website, which is www.bazhe.com, B-A-Z-H-E?
Yes, BAZHE.com, or they can go to Amazon, because on Amazon it's always on sale. Just type BAZHE. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. I have enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. Me too. Have a great day.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.